my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with Steven, who is also known as Collecto6 on Instagram. And yeah, we're gonna show some pretty cool books. Some he actually I think he got too excited, and he actually told me about one of the big books that he is getting today.
I couldn't stand it.
It's like Christmas. It's like I really want to see. I want to tell him. So yeah.
There are some books that are like that. It'll be the last book I show, but there are some books that it was just one of those things. And I finally was going to drop a bomb on Alan, and I said I can't do that to him. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
For our Monday special.
Yeah, it is a very special for that book. It's a grail, in my opinion. It is
a grail.
So yeah, I'm going to just quickly say hi to the chat, which is just K Munin. Say hi, hi, Andreas.
Hello, Andreas.
So that's the chat. That was easy. That was quick and simple. By the way, in the description of this video, this is just for fun. If you're interested, this is a extra thing. You can see what I'm doing in my real life, my regular life, my non-comic book life. I'm doing a group called the Core 4, and it's like a business event. If you want, there's a link to it in the description. It's like $20 to go. There's a code, you get $5 off. You can go see me and learn all about SEO, the magic of SEO, and has nothing to do with comics.
Say what SEO is.
Yeah, SEO is search engine optimization. But I basically show businesses how to get more business, and that's the thing. There's three other speakers that are involved too, so I don't know. This is just a fun thing. If you want to attend, you can attend. It's just a link. So
$50. You're an expensive date.
Well, actually, it gets more expensive. This is just the intro, believe it or not.
Wow.
It gets into the thousands later, but
wonderful.
But I'm not saying sign up for that. I'm just saying if you want to see like a little bit of what I do, and it should be very educational. If you have a business, this is actually very educational. But it's more about just seeing what I do in my real life, and you can.
Well, I am retired. I am retired, fortunately.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with this kind of stuff, but it's stuff that I have to deal with on a daily basis. So
understood. Well, you're a young man. You've got all kinds of juice.
I gotta. I don't know where all my juices are, but yeah.
Comic books.
Yeah, so we're gonna show some pretty cool books tonight. I'd like to get back into the books, but you can check that out in the description, and you can use code Alan to get $5 off. Okay, now there's a bunch of people that showed up in the chat. After I said, oh, I'm done with the chat really simply, now everyone's saying hi. Okay, let me just quickly go back up and say hi to the rest of them. Hi, Matt.
Big Matt.
And hi, Last Frontier.
Last Frontier.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Big Jeff.
And hi, Pre-Code Thing.
It's a pre-code thing.
And then hi, Bleaker.
Hi, Bleak.
Hi, JSS. And hi, Niobe, who asked me weird questions about my black eyes. Okay, that was weird. Hi, Callie.
Hi, Callie.
And hi, K-Pop.
Hi, K-Pop.
K-Pop's becoming a regular. It's pretty good.
That's wonderful.
Good member of the community.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are all, I believe I got everybody. Oh, hey, JX. And hey, Susie.
And Sue.
Yeah, it's good that we can bring our own spouses sometimes. Okay. So I got some pretty, on my side, you're going to be showing some pretty cool books. I know. On my side, I'm going to actually give a preview of a video that I'm doing on Thursday, where I'm going to be showing a collection that I picked up. It's about 40 romance books plus a bunch of other stuff, like some Good Girl and some really random dollar bin stuff.
Good Girl and romance. I'm your man. I love both of those.
So that's happening on Thursday. It's like a sort of a special unboxing there, but I'm going to give a pretty big preview of it. Like, as I said, it's about 50 books in total in the collection. I'm going to show about 10 to 15 of it. So you can, I kind of want people's opinion. Did I do well on this buy? Because I feel like at first I thought it was a good buy. Now I'm feeling less confident. So I'm just, I want to restore that
knowing
confidence.
you, I'm certain it's good.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to let you show some books.
Oh, am I going to lead off?
Yeah, you're the guest. You're always the guest. The guest of honor.
Oh, well, thank you. Wow.
Yeah. See,
privilege.
Yeah,
Premium.
Premium. Okay.
I recently watched a live stream by Biggie Shack with D-Runk, and it was a short one. Just I think it was yesterday, and
they're talking about J. Scott Campbell,
and they were talking about how they thought J. Scott Campbell was a no good Nick, and they didn't care for his style or his art or the prices or anything else. And I would just like to say that I differ in that opinion, because I think that J. Scott Campbell is a very gifted artist. I have many of his covers, and I'm happy to have them. I will say that some are perhaps a little bit nicer than others. In other words, the way they're configured are a little bit nicer. But his stuff does put something across.
He's ready for the golden age.
If only. Yeah, well, that's okay. And so, remarkably and coincidentally, a book that J. Scott Campbell that I had ordered a while ago arrived today, and here it is. It's Witchblade.
Oh yes, you showed me that one. I thought it was a really interesting cover. Yeah, her skin is very creepy looking.
It's very crepey looking, but it's the armor and and there's an awful lot of work he did on this one.
Yeah,
I mean, there's quite a bit of line and inking involved, and I think it's a beautiful cover. I really do.
It's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like it or not like it. To tell you the truth, it's one of those ones that it's like a hit and a miss to me. I'm going to say that. Like I really do like it, and at the same time, something about it I don't like. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Well, you're very egalitarian. I do like. Obviously, I like it because I bundled up the coin to buy it, and it was one you had to kind of pre-order, and so I did because I just like the layout.
I think the more I see it, though, the more it grows on me. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's like a one. It kind of grows on me. I don't know. I like the pose. I think the pose is really good.
Well, it's not the usual pose for his people. Generally,
yeah,
they're
usually
standing up.
Standing up. Yeah, standing up.
Yeah, they're usually standing and up. But here she is, probably just converted with all of her armor and stuff, her exoskeleton clickety popping on, and with the long nails and the Witchblade gauntlet.
Yeah, I would agree with Callie. It kind of looks like a Spider-Man 1.
Now you're agreeing with Callie?
I know. It's like, what's going wrong with me?
Man,
I'm going downhill. It's all downhill now.
Down the tubes. Yeah. I like the TV show. I like that gal. She was in
a TV show.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was a movie, or no, I thought there was like on A&E or something, or
I never watched it.
Or USA, and it was the gal that was in that Jean-Claude Van Damme Louisiana movie where she was showing her purse. She was trying to find out what had happened, and the guys, they were on a hunt where they were basically hunting veterans. They would give them all this money, and if they could get out, then they get the money. And then these rich guys went around and they would shoot them. And Wilford Brimley was in it as well. Good old Wilford, who was
like Witchblade.
The gal who played in Witchblade.
Okay.
She was the frail in it, and so I can't remember her name. I'm sure Matt, I like Matt would know.
I didn't realize Witchblade was a TV show. I must have missed
that. It's not bad. And when she puts on the thing and clicks it on, and then all this, hubbub goes on. And I remember,
it must have been late 90s because I missed out on a lot of shows.
And I remember one of the ones that she had was where there was this voice that kept talking to her, and it was a very familiar voice. And all of a sudden, then it was in the shadows, and she said, "You were saying these things to me. Who are you?" And then he walked into the light, and it was a computer animated John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and it was perfect. He
Wow.
says, "I just don't want you to have happen to you what happened to me." And it was, and his eyes were blinking, and it was the creepiest thing. It truly blew me. Yancey Butler, thank you, Last Frontier. Yancey Butler is her name, and she's good.
Wow. So in the late 90s, I was living in Korea. So I missed out on a lot of the cultural things.
Well,
Like,
if you watch it, I think you'll really enjoy it. I did.
I'll definitely watch it. I didn't even know there was it. So yeah,
You didn't
that's
know it
cool.
wasn't? You didn't know
Yeah,
it
I didn't
wasn't?
know it existed. So,
I
so
didn't
you
know it
said if you
wasn't.
watch it,
I
you
didn't
know,
know it wasn't.
yeah. So that's what
You'll
there was a logic to that.
you will notice, I have an interesting cross section. I just picked random books to show, to have out. Also, if you look all the way over this away, right there,
Oh yeah.
the jetpack issue that I showed before with Betty, that is the Shane McCormick version of it
Oh,
that
that's the version. Yeah, I see
I
the art
posted
for it.
on
Yeah.
that. But I'm dialing it back a little bit for my friend Alan.
Okay,
So,
cool.
one of my favorite Archie artists is Harry Lucy, and Harry Lucy in and around around the 80s to the hundreds in Archie. A lot of them are Harry Lucy covers, and I just like the way that he draws the girls, his line, his proportions, the way he draws their faces, and everything else. I like everything about it, everything about his art. And although this isn't I mean, this isn't like one of his like 40 or 41. This one is actually 104, but he actually was in the 40s and then came back. But here it is.
Oh yes, you showed me
Must
this
be
one recently.
wonderful to have women fight over you. Yak yak.
Yeah.
And Archie is just getting trashed by Betty and Veronica, who are having a difference of opinion, and
And they're putting their heels in too. It's not
they're
just like
digging their heels in, and Veronica has the toe of her left foot right in Archie's butt.
I know, it's
One of the
super
things
brutal.
that's very distinctive for Harry Lucy also
It's the
is
skirts.
this zipatone dress on Betty, which is this sort of gray
Yeah.
crosshatch thing that he does. But the way he draws their faces, which is sometimes the faces of the girls are too roundy to my taste. And I just like the way his line is very clean. His proportions are very, very good to my eye. Anyway, so this is Archie 104. It's still a 10 center, but it's a code book. So probably 19 from 59 to 61. And I'm thinking probably late 59 or early 1960 for this one.
It's a very clean copy, by the way. It looks very nice.
Thank you. And I got it from.
All right. Was that expensive or?
No, actually, surprisingly, I think it was, I can't remember, it was 35 or 40 bucks, something like that.
Oh, okay. I might pick up a copy if it's that price.
It was a 4.5 or around a 4.5 My Comic Shop Raw.
And that's like Archie what?
Archie number 104.
104. I'll look for that. Archie 104.
Okay.
Because I actually really like that. Actually, I like the girls stepping on him and stuff. It's
well, fun. And there are so many of these covers I'd never seen it before, but I recognized that it was Harry Lucy, and I said, then I threw it in my cart, and then I looked at all the information on it, and went from there. Sometimes if they say it's a best offer, and they're not asking a lot, and it's in nice grade, I generally will give the people, in other words, if I could get, $5, get a nickel or a dime off. They're fighting each other about
on Archie.
and they're hammering just exactly where you think it's going.
Okay, 1 second here. I'm just
Fiddle Chips, I will rely on you for that experience. I will confess, I have not had that happen. I haven't been thrown into the ocean with concrete overshoes either. So, And I haven't worn my red dress. Susan will tell you.
I don't think
You're
that's
exactly
true.
the exact
Opposite of that.
It's a
Usually
4-5. My comic shop is probably a 5-5 or
a
a 6.
5-5 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they undergrade by policy
Yeah.
for what it's worth. This is also from.
Wait, I saw also one more person. I just gotta quickly say hi.
All right.
Graphic Man and Moondust. Okay.
Moondust. I like the
Okay.
Casper logo. I think that's fun.
Yeah, it's really cute. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. One of the other characters that I do like to collect, and they're very cute, and they're sort of cutie, sexy cutie kind of thing, and it's Mopsy. And
Yes.
I have I think about half a dozen or so Mopsies that I have.
Me too.
Gladys Parker was the name of the gal, and the way her hair is drawn, here it is. This is Mopsy number 3. And I like it because of the color, the transitioning color in this on the cover, where you have a red going clear down to yellow. I love the whole spectrum, basically.
Yeah.
And boy, she certainly knows how to wear clothes. And of course, Mopsy is all about that, and she's got her lightning bolts coming out that she's gonna. And you'll notice the way the guy wears his swimming trunks, it's definitely 30s style, because that's a 1930s style, although the bikini is definitely not 30s or 40s style. I mean, it was...
Isn't the bikini like the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that the bikini, I believe that they came up with the name bikini from the Bikini Atoll.
The islands, yeah. Where
they dropped the nuclear tests.
Yeah.
And if you will notice, Mopsy, who has got the lightning bolts of anger and the furrowed brow, you'll notice that her hair is all curled and what have you. Well, Mopsy looks just like Gladys Parker, who is the artist.
Was the
in 46? It might have been, Matt. I thought it was 50s,
I thought it was later. I thought it was like 1950 something.
I think I remember some golden age movies that have it. But Al Capp, who drew Little Abner, evidently she was at a show or at some dinner or something, and he saw her hair. And he says, your hair is just a mop. It's always such a mop. And
we're still going on about the bikinis. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Matt. So she thought, first she took umbrage to it, but then she laughed about it. And the character then took on the name Mopsy because of the Mopsy hair. And that's how she got her name.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that a great color strike?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
This also is not, they're not very expensive, terribly expensive at all.
The Mopsies are all very inexpensive, actually. Sadly,
reasonably priced. Mm-hmm. Inexpensive is like $5. These are like 30 or 40, maybe $50.
Yeah.
And they are available, but they're not all that common, but they're not all that uncommon.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan, I'm going to show I have 2 more raws, and then I'll let you show, because the last, all I have after that is I have 5 slabs, and then that's it.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do it in 2 rounds then.
All right. Here is one that also was from, it's a title from ACG called Out of the Night. And there are several covers in that are really sought after covers and what have you. I don't think that I've never seen this one offered before, and it wasn't horribly expensive, but I really kind of liked it. And it's sort of an Egyptian thing where she isn't in a red dress. She's in a white with red polka dots, and she's got a green-eyed gal.
I like the mummy kind of coming.
And the mummy popping out of the sarcophagi. And she's running for her life screaming, which is what you do.
I think sarcophagi would be more than one sarcophagus. Yeah.
Well, I thought there looked like there was one over to the left, but I said that's just the lid from the one. So the sarcophagus. Yeah. Gus was there, and he popped
the guy. The guy wasn't.
The guy wasn't. So anyway, but I think that's just kind of a fun cover.
What was the first comic that had a woman in a bikini?
You just saw it. I don't know. I can't answer that.
That'd be a good trivia question.
It would be a good crew. Maybe someone would ask that and put it into
I know which Archie has the first bikini cover.
Which?
It's the one where it's like the beauty contest, and they're both looking at Archie for which girl he's gonna pick.
Oh, the judge one, and they're a bikini.
Judge one. I have it.
The first bikini cover.
That's the first bikini cover for Archie.
You consulted your Gerber photo journal?
I consulted my comic shop. That was
and you just went through the.
Yeah, I went through all the Peps. I went through all the Archies. I went through all the Bettys, and to find which is the earliest.
Very good. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And what year was it?
I think it was like, I want to say like 40 something, 46.
Do you remember what number it was?
I can get it. Okay, if you keep on showing stuff, I'll get it.
Okay. The three of my books that I'm showing tonight, I was in the recent My Comic Shop auction, and they have these either bi-weekly or monthly auctions, a month and a half or whatever it is, and then they run for several days and what have you, and then you bid on various books, and sometimes the books will the prices on the books will just go sky high, and what's that?
I'm mistaken. They're not in bikinis.
They're not.
It's not a bikini book. It's the swimsuit first swimsuit cover, but it's not a bikini cover.
Oh, okay. So now we still don't know.
Still don't know. I'd have to go through and find it. Yeah, I'd have to. But I bought every single cover, bikini swimsuit cover in Archie.
Well,
that's the kind of collecting I have to do.
That's all right. That's cool. I mean, they're fun covers, And let's face it, Betty and Veronica and Betty and Archie and all of those, they spend an awful lot of time at the beach. I mean, they do. They're almost invariably they end up down at the beach, especially like for the summer issues. They are, and they had summer specials and all that other stuff. And I have a raft of that stuff too. But I was just saying, Alan, I was talking about that has these weekly or bi-weekly, monthly auctions that they have, where they have really from soup to nuts as far as various books that they offer. A lot of times the grades on them and some of the stuff, it really is soup to nuts, because they'll put in books that are really 0.5s and 1.5s and 2s. They'll put in some nicer ones. They'll put oddball stuff. They'll throw a few pulps in, stuff like that. So they give you a pretty darn good variety as far as for what they offer. But one of the covers that sometimes what will happen is that if someone puts a book into the regular new listings and then the book doesn't sell, and they'll maybe do PEP 232. What's PEP 232?
First bikini, I guess.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
And then Archie 167 is first in Archie. Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
I think I have both of those, so I'd have to look for them.
Alan, if you didn't, I would be very surprised. So, but what happened was, if the book doesn't sell, then they'll wait a bit, and then they'll relist it, and then they maybe will list it for a few bucks less and try and sell it. And if it still doesn't sell, then what happens a lot of times is it'll end up in an auction. And they'll say, well, I'm just going to go and see what the market will bear. And if there's any interest, why they'll say, we'll get what I got.
Oops, I'll leave that so you can see it. Okay, just keep going. Keep going.
Very cool. And so there were 3 books that I had.
I'm
That's all right.
Sorry. Go ahead. Just keep on going.
That's all right. So there were 3 books that I went and I got, and 2 of them were slabs and 1 of them was not. And I had looked at this book before, and I believe I put an offer on it, and they passed on it. And so I said, well, I like it, but I don't like it that great. And then I looked it up on the census, and it's a very, very low census. So when it came back up for auction, I bid on it and I won. And it's sort of sort of like a painted cover, and the guy's got a Thompson in his hands, with a drum magazine, and it's a model 21 Thompson because it doesn't have a cuts compensator on it, and it's John Slicer Berry, Hatchet Man of Crime, Johnny Rendon and the Brown Shirt Gang, and what is it, Lumpy? Lou Limpy Savato, Hired Gunman.
Oh, wow.
And back behind prison bars because they wouldn't go straight. These are parole breakers, and I think she's a beautiful redhead.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Very nice put together. And so there you go. I just thought it was a really cool cover.
There's a bunch like that. There's parole breakers, there's gangsters, and Prison Break. There's a bunch like that.
They don't survive. Cool. These books did not survive very well at all. They really didn't. I have a Prison Break. I have this one Prison Break. I'll pull it out. I'll pull it out and I'll show it to you here in a minute. And it's a lower grade, but you never see the book. Literally, it's one of these ones. If you like the book and it isn't, totally wiped out, always consider going. And if it's not too dear, because if you don't, you ain't gonna see it again. So anyway, I will show that to you. And those are my 5 raws.
Okay, cool. And I will show some books now, I guess. First, I'll show the Archie one that I was totally wrong. It's not a bikini cover, but it is the first swimsuit cover in Archie. This is Archie number 13.
I remember that.
Mine's really rough. Mine's a 5.5. I mean, but I got it for like $100. So it's actually, that's a reasonable price, believe it or not, for early Archie. But yeah, I was pretty excited because I like, collecting these swimsuit covers. So this is the first one I could find in the run. I'm going to show you some books that are part of this. As I said, what happened was I was negotiating with somebody on a romance collection. They had about 40 books in their, 40, they had about 50 books in the romance collection. And I kind of thought, okay, if they're all in sort of mid-grade, it could be worth like a couple $1,000s even, like, based if they're all mid-grade. Mid-grade, just that's the key. And then there was a fair, like a small number that were golden age, and the rest were maybe silver to bronze. Okay. And so I sort of said, hey, I can't pay that kind of money for it. I can probably give you 500 because I can't really see the grades that well, and I just want to err on the safe side. And I said, you can remove a couple of the books because, like I said, I already had one of them, so I said you can just remove that one. It was like $100 or $200 book, so they kind of reduced it so that it made it more in line with what I was offering. But then, then he showed me. We did a video later, and he had removed a bunch of the books, the golden age side, and it was more or less kind of getting, I wasn't quite sure if I still maintained the value, especially because the grade seemed a little bit lower than what I expected. So I'll show you the books, and you guys can tell me some of the books. You'll see the whole list on Thursday, and you guys can tell me if I did well or not well. Okay. So the first one I'm going to show you, this. You can see that with the big seal. That this is like late 50s.
Yeah, that looks like a 1956 book to me.
Just because the massive comic code. Yeah, so this is Ajax, but I thought it was a nice cover.
It is. Ajax Feral, isn't Ajax?
Ajax Feral, yeah.
Feral together, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a kind of a cool one. So that's Secret Love.
What are those girls? Beth is still dreaming. What is it now?
Beth is still daydreaming. He'll never ask her. Why does it take Peter so long to set a date? I've waited and waited, but still only bride to be. So yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. So she's trying to get wedding rings 20% off. Good time to buy a wedding ring. Oh my goodness, 20% off.
That's sad. And then
Mhm.
here she is in 1956. I guess she just evidently, and what's his name?
Peter.
Peter. Peter wants to have something. She's waiting and waiting. I wonder if he's waiting and waiting too.
So this is interesting. Edith Wood Lovelorn editor.
They always would put those in where they have
It's really
these
weird.
lovelorn gals would send in, my boyfriend's dating his ex-girlfriend, and he says they're just friends, but I'm not too sure. What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And then he says,
Uh-huh.
our
She's dreaming about discount
discount
rings.
rings.
Yes. You know, as you do, right? Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah. Then this one was the one I thought was a really pretty cover. This is like this is a Charlton. I thought it was a pretty cover.
It is pretty, actually.
Again, it's missing a big piece out there, but
I kissed another man, my lovely witch, China doll, and witch man for Marion.
Yeah. But I thought it was kind of I don't know, kind of reminded me of like Marilyn Monroe a bit. I don't know.
Very much so. And it also reminds me of the Fox features where they have those gals, the way they would draw their faces and stuff like that for Fox features. I'll tell you, Charlton had a lot of good stuff. Surprisingly, things kind of went, also you'll notice her hand over the top of his shoulder where they always put the fingers together, which is a very typical thing that they would do on good girls.
She has really long fingers, actually. Kind of creepy.
Long fingers. Evidently, that was Sharon Paul's book.
Yes.
Or is it Sharon and Paul?
I think no, actually, oh my goodness. It's Sharon plus Paul.
Yeah, it's Sharon and Paul. So Sharon
plus Paul. I mean, when
like
girls couple. When
they're a couple.
Yeah, she likes Paul probably. I don't think it's
real
like they're a couple.
It says what does it say over his ear? It says a real doll. Alan, look at that. A real doll.
Yeah, that's really funny. A little bit of
Paul, a real doll.
Maybe what if Paul isn't actually with Sharon? She's just dreaming about him.
No, she has to be with him.
Well, it's funny. It says a real doll, and then it has a little arrow pointing to the guy.
Yes. So I think she was dreaming about with her boyfriend, and then she was fixating that this was her and that was him.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Okay, we learned a little bit about Sharon today. Okay, this one at first I thought it looked like Elvis. I know it doesn't look like Elvis, but you'll see. Just quickly when I glanced at.
Well, that's Jimmy Rogers.
Yes, I know that. It even says Jimmy Rogers right here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but I just saw the grease hair. So yeah, so this is Sweethearts. And this is with Charlton, I always hate they never put the number. You never know what number it is. It's like so it's Sweethearts. I don't think her name is Sharon Paul, by the way. It's just Sharon plus Paul. There's a little plus sign.
Jimmy Rogers. Yes.
It is Jimmy Rogers.
So that's like late 50s again, or at the latest, because it's a 10 center, right?
Yeah, it's a 10 center. It would be early 60s, I would say. I would guess like 61 would be my guess.
Well, 61 is right before the change in price. I think that's a little bit earlier. I think it's a 59.
Okay, well, we can look it up. Somebody can look it up. Okay, but I guess that it's early 60s. Here's another one, Lovers. I mean, I think they're cool.
What's she saying?
She's saying, but I don't care if you don't have it money. I love you. You can't you see I love you? I love an XGI.
Well, what the hell is his problem?
I don't know. He looks really grumpy too. He's got a very stoic face.
Well, it's either I think he's going to Tennessee or Tulane, probably Tulane.
Oh,
what is a teenage girl to do about a high school crush?
Yeah. Can you read that?
The world. What does it say here? It says,
here.
Yeah. And what's it say up above? It says
can you read that?
He meant the world to me, but would his stubborn pride prevent our marriage? Don't dare, miss. I love an XGI.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be an XGI from Korea.
Yeah, her body is strange.
No, it isn't. She's just really got a wasp waist, and she's
No,
she's
it doesn't.
sitting on
Actually, it
her
doesn't look that
sitting on her
waspy.
no, she's sitting on her thighs. Well, I mean, a nice thin with a nice cut sweater. I like the ponytail too.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
cover, and I like the red and the blue and the yellow, all the primaries.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay.
So far, I think you're doing great.
Okay. I mean, I thought they were all nice. Okay, I'll say that about them. Here's another one. Teen Confessions.
Now this is when Charlton starts to it starts to change a little bit. I know it looks like Sharon and Paul, but just sort of a close up.
It's back to Sharon and Paul. Yeah.
And you see how they use the typewriter font. That's one thing I wish they never did.
I don't like the typewriter font
cheesy.
either.
It's cheesy.
It looks cheesy to me too. So this is Teen Confessions.
They were waiting for the evening tide, Alan.
And this one was owned by Gloria, because it says Gloria at the top there.
Gloria?
Yeah, it's Gloria, Gloria, yeah.
Like the song?
Yeah.
I like the pork pie hat. That's definitely 50s looking.
Yeah. So this one is another 10 center. This is My Secret Life number 20.
Experiences ripped from life. They always have ripped from the pages of it. Ripped, daring, romantic, adult, ripped experiences. Ripped.
I don't know what's going on in this one. It looks like this guy's like gonna punch her or something. I don't know. And this other guy's coming in to
defend her. It looks like he's got a problem with it. Fight's coming right now.
Yeah, so that's a very different cover for romance books. Usually there's not much violence on.
Look at the perspective of the artist, because that's a very interesting perspective for her. She's got an apron on like she's fixing dinner. You see, she's got an apron like she's been fixing dinner for the brute.
Yeah, and then this other guy is maybe her lover or something coming in.
Either that or the husband just got home and this guy was in the house but she looks like she's trying to hold this other guy back.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's a very odd one. Well, it was ripped from somebody's life, so we gotta just.
It's daring.
It's torn. Okay. So the next one is this one's a bit of a thicker book. It's
there's Sharon and Paul again.
They're married now. So this is the Secrets of Love and Marriage.
Secrets, huh? Secrets of Love and Marriage? Well, it can't be too secret if it's a code book. It can't be too secret.
Yeah. And it's like 68 pages, and it's 15 cents now, though.
Well, for 68 pages, that's about right for a 68 pager.
Yeah.
It's a double value.
Yeah, thick
for 15 cents instead of 20. I mean, it would have been 20 cents, but for 15 cents, they get double the book.
Yeah. So this would probably be, I would say, early 60s, would you say?
I don't know. I would say early 60s or late 50s, because 36 and 36 is 72, and most books were 36 pages by that point. So 72, so it's put near 2 books. 68 pages is
okay. So this is actually extra value, is what you're saying.
That's it. So you're getting another book for a nickel.
Okay, cool. So that's Secrets of Love and Marriage. Secrets. I said secrets.
I know.
Secrets.
I know. But the secrets can't be too secret because it's a code book.
Okay. And then I'll show the rest later. So that's the first half of my preview of my show thing. So what do you think so far?
I think they're fine. They're books that
they're a little deep, though. They're a little bit rough. They
are a little bit rough, but to buy that sort of, if you can buy a bulk bunch of really nice stuff like that reasonably, that's good stuff to have. It's fun to have that kind of stuff. I mean, you're not going to change the market, but you have fun stuff that you just don't see that much.
Yeah, I mean, I like this kind of stuff, but yeah. Okay, so I'll make you big now.
All right. I had threatened you with Prison Break as one of these books that you don't see. And here's Prison Break.
How many books in the lot? It was 50 books in the whole lot with everything.
And it was 500.
500. So $10 a book, basically.
You killed it. You know you did. Those
Eh.
books, every one of those books is worth more than 10. I can tell you that.
Well, I don't know. I bought like another lot of romance books, and I paid $1 each.
Well, you see, apples and oranges.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is actually Prison Break #1.
I know. I really like that one. I think actually that was either taken from my cart from some evil person, or it was one that I looked at on auction.
Gerald Chapman, the Plunderer, Blood on Arkansas, and Cannon City Jailbreak.
It's great. I just like the girl's pose.
Well, she's great. She's beautiful. She's a hard-looking mall, and she's with her stockings on straight, and all akimbo coming out of the car with the suicide door, and about ready to open up her Thompson on these guys.
Thank you, Phil Chips.
Yeah, you did good, Alan.
Okay.
So there's this one, and right next to it, and I love this book.
Yeah, he's basically, you know, I don't know. I think Steven hacks my my comic shop cart, and then just takes everything out of it, and it's like, what's going on with my cart? It seems wacky or something.
Well, we established a while ago that if you see a book you even halfway can see, you put it in your cart so that you have. I mean, at any given time, you have, what is it?
I think there's about 60 books in my cart right now.
Okay, so
I'm debating about.
I don't have any books in my cart. If I see something I like, I don't linger and agonize and wring my hands about it. I make up my mind, and if I can find a few others at the same time, then I can save on shipping. But I just want to make sure I get the book. That's what I go.
Yeah. Oh.
You're more scheming and patient than I.
Mm-hmm. Until I get impatient when people take stuff from my cart, and I cry.
I see.
And I usually cry myself. I cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, the tears are so wonderful. I just love this cover.
Oh wow, that is nice. It looks like she's like kind of, you know, stripping.
It's not like she's kind of stripping. She's like, absolutely. When she says, "I craved excitement and thrills," she is not putting it back on. She is taking it off. And there's Desi Arnaz is right there waiting for her. I guess Lucy wasn't available.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a great cover.
Another.
And she's got a bit of a hip thing going on, like a hip.
Yeah, she's flared her hip for Raul, and Raul is saying, "You know, honey, you're pretty darn good," but he looks rather stoic about it. But he's got a very nice expression. What's that?
It's sort of like, you know, in like the pre-code horror stuff, the girl's getting dragged off, and she has like this very melancholy look, like just like no expression, stoic, kind of not really like any expression. That's what he's doing in this. It's the opposite.
The way I look at it is, she's saying, "What do you think about this?" And he's going, "I'm waiting. Keep going.
He's waiting for something more.
By the sea. So anyway, it is a lovely color strike on this.
It's a good one. That's really nice. Do you know who did the cover, or is it Giordano or Giordano?
Don Gardino. It's a Don Gardino cover.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I don't know who it is, it's always Don Gardino.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then this one was right next to it too, so I thought I would show this too.
Why does she have a bathrobe at the beach? I don't know. So that one I love too.
No. She had it on in the car when they were driving there. He has his robe on too. See?
Yeah.
So they drove to the beach. They had their robes on, and then when they get to the beach, it's hot. So then they peel off and they go into the drink, and then they come out, and then they exchange genetic information.
As you do. So yeah. So. No, that's a good one.
But Rusty is, and this is one that Alan already had, but this one will show up episodically. But it's a really, really cute.
I love that one. I always love that one.
Rusty is another one of these Atlas comics with Stan Lee, where they had all these different girls' names. Rusty. I actually have a Rusty up there behind me, the redhead, where she's got the bull is about to get her. If you look at where the U is in Rusty and the one I'm holding, the one above it, that's
okay.
got nice legs on that one. But anyway, but there you go. That's the other one's this last. And I'll show, Alan, I'll show one more for this round. And then if you show one, then I'll back clean up at the end. Is that all right?
Yep. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Okay.
Okay. And this just arrived.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's the Dave Stevens. It's actually, is that actually Dave Stevens, or is it the homage to Dave Stevens? I think it's the homage, isn't it?
This is the homage. This is the, it says Cassidy, Alfred, and Busiek stories, John Cassidy, Mike Allred, and Michael William Kaluta art. Dave Stevens cover. So they basically blew up a panel from the story.
Thing, yeah.
And that's
so there's two versions.
When Cliff Secord is walking in on her, and she says, I sure hope he doesn't know what, that I'm doing these art photos to make money. And he doesn't like it, and she does it anyway. And of course, with the Betty Page thing and everything else is like that. But this book here, I showed that really beautiful big blue one, the Treasury edition that Alan had showed me here last time with, and actually, if you look up there, you see the way she looks. That's how she looked on the side of the cover. But that's the Shane McCormick
imitation
homage to it, Bruce Timm thing. But here, and the guy is saying here, what's the meaning of this? Who are you? And of course, Cliff Secord wants to just beat the hell out of him because he's taking pictures of his naked girlfriend. And what was Cliff Secord's girlfriend's name?
I was just going to ask you that.
What is the Rocketeers?
I think her name's still Betty, isn't it? Is it Betty? I forgot what it is. That's why I actually blanked out on it. I was going to ask you. You asked before I could ask. Do you remember?
Yes.
It's not Betty Page. She's looks
like
Betty Page.
It is Betty Page, but he's not dating Betty Page. He's
not dating Betty.
Somebody else.
Her name's something else. Oh my goodness. I just watched The Rocketeer like a month ago. Why can't I remember her name?
And it's Jennifer.
Jenny Blake?
Jenny Blake.
Jenny Blake. Okay.
And it was Jennifer Connelly played her in the beautifully.
And she looked so perfect. Yeah.
She absolutely nailed it. Truly.
Jenny Blake. Oh my goodness. I couldn't remember that.
Jenny Blake.
Okay. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
I didn't remember. Okay.
So now you're going to show some, and then
you have the last?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. The slabs.
How about you show one more, and then we'll go one more slab. And then,
are we on a TV time limit tonight?
We're on a TV time limit.
Are you going somewhere?
The wife is TV time limit.
Fair enough. Go ahead and show, and then I will.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show the last bit of the preview for Thursday's unboxing. Tomorrow's unboxing is the finale for the current Stackery thing. I just released my current stuff that Stackery today. It's actually getting shipped today, which was painful. But it's going out. It's 4 boxes, by the way.
Boy.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Okay, so
I buy books by the number. You buy books by the pound.
By the pound. Okay, so let's this is the next one. Brides to be romances. True bride to be romance. He's giving her a really big diamond ring, so she should be happy. He even gets a thumbs up by
Now that's a Harvey, isn't it?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. It might be actually it might actually be DC. One sec here. I'm going to open up. You made me wonder. I got to open it up now. I'm going to take a look. I think it might be DC. This one is in really rough shape. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whoa. Detached cover?
Oh
That's
my
not
God.
good.
Well, you didn't do well with that one, I'll say.
That's what I was saying. The conditions looked a little bit iffy to me.
Well, look through the secret hole in your contact lenses, Alan.
I'm trying to. Okay, so you guys, wow. Okay, so the completely detached cover. Okay, you guys can you guys see where it's from?
Well, hold still. Don't move. Harvey.
It is Harvey. Okay.
Robert M. Harvey, or whatever his name is. Mr. Harvey is the main guy on there. If you read it, his name's right in there, line 2.
Line 2. Oh yes, I see it. Harvey. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
That
this
one,
is
I
Harvey.
think, perhaps was not as good as it might have been.
Yeah. So this one is. I could tell that it is really brittle. The cover. Yeah. So. Oh well. So yeah. So as I said, the condition's a little low on some of these. This is like this would be considered a 0.5 because it's a complete spine split. Okay, so that's Bride to Be,
Mm-hmm.
and this is Falling in Love.
Now that is DC. I know that because of the
The
state
little
of the art.
nationals.
Yeah, well,
DC the
it's
national.
National Roman, but you notice that it doesn't say Detective Comics. It's read what it says on the outer ring. It's National Romance Group.
National Romance Group. That's really funny, isn't it?
I have several that are in that vintage.
You'll know, actually the next book I'm going to show is also in the same thing. This is Heartthrobs. And it's got the same.
Yep, and it was fun because they would make it red. In other words, they would have the national, but would be red, and then the heart in the middle and everything.
Yeah, I think it is to get the girls' attention. This one I really like, by the way. This next one.
Well, that's Atlas for sure.
Yeah, this is very Atlasy.
It looks like Jack Kirby as the artist, doesn't it? Isn't that a Kirby-looking guy?
The guy looks very Kirby-ish, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure who did the cover. We could look it up, but this is
who did it?
Who did it? My Own Romance, number 75. But I like the cover.
That's like 1959 or 1960. I mean, it looks it.
Yeah, so it's in that era. And then we got Love Stories. Nice wedding cover.
Another Harvey.
Yeah.
Sort of a Lee Elias looking cover.
Could be. Lee Elias worked for Archie, so Harvey.
Yes, he did. He actually did
a lot of the romance.
A lot of work.
Too.
Well, of course, the Black Cat.
Yeah.
Plus others too. Yeah.
But he did a lot of the romance covers. This one I thought was I actually looked it up afterwards, but it doesn't. I don't know who did the cover, but I thought it was Matt Baker. And this was one of the reasons why I bought this whole entire collection was this next book. Is this one.
Oh, it has the look for sure. Quality?
Yes, this is see the girl with the hat? That is very Matt Baker style. This is GI Sweethearts number 37. But I don't think it's Matt Baker actually.
I don't think it's Bill Ward either because the hair doesn't have
the hair's not right. No, yeah. It's not right.
It's a nice cover though. I like it.
It's a cool one. It's just not what I thought it was. But and then the last book from this preview is a snowman cover. Just a cute snowman cover.
Another one of the 15 centers. I like the color palette's nice too.
Yeah, it's a cute one. I like the way that they're kind of like got the little snowman as if it's like a child in between them kind of thing. It's very cute.
And it appears that the cover is signed on the snowman down at the bottom.
Is it signed? Yeah, it's signed by you're gonna have to help me on this one. One sec, wait.
You'll have to hold still. Nicholas Alatia.
Okay, so now we know who did the cover. That's not a bad one, I thought.
I have seen Alatia's. I have seen covers by him. He's not a bad artist at all.
Yeah, I like that one. So that's my preview for Thursday's show.
Nice.
So, and then we'll let you show the big books.
All right. Continuing on now with this one was before the auction, and I've never seen this title before, and I think there are only 3 issues. It's Fantastic Worlds, and this is number 7. I actually had already purchased earlier Fantastic Worlds number 6, which is sort of is another Spaceman cover. As you know, I am a big collector of standard Nidor books, and the Black Terror and the World War II books by quite a bit. And one of my favorite characters, and who was the flagship character of standard Nidor, was the Black Terror. And he had a very distinctive costume, and the Punisher they emulated his costume when they came up with the Punisher. And I think that the use of in the story, meek and mild Bob Benton, who is the druggist who inhaled the formic ethers and became the Black Terror, and then he turned on his buddy Tim Rowland, whose parents must have been incredibly tolerant because he spent all this time with Bob Benton, and then he sucked in the formic ethers as well. And then he got himself a Black Terror costume as well, and they were the Terror Twins. But the thing about it is that the covers by Alex Schomburg really were the thing that made it work. And he said that drawing those covers with the Black Terror, trying to make a black uniform look good, took an awful lot of work. And so if you ever look at a Black Terror cover, you look at the side embellishments that are on it to basically highlight it, to bring the black out. And there's an enormous amount of work to do that. And then the colorist had to be extremely careful in doing it to make it look right. And Schomburg was a perfectionist, and that was one of the things. So imagine my surprise when I saw this one, and I had never seen it before. This is Fantastic Worlds number 7, and it's from January of 1953.
And it's got a female Black Terror.
And you have a gal that has the Black Terror on her chest. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
and I love the layout of the cover.
I've been looking for it since you showed me this, by the way. It's a cool book.
It's got an incredibly low census on this. I had never, and when I saw it, I had never seen it before either. And I looked at it once, and I gave it sort of a cursory. I didn't curse, but I gave it a cursory glance. And I noticed then all of a sudden I realized it had the skull and crossbones, and it wasn't terribly dear. It wasn't cheap, but it was, and the fact that it's a nice 5. On the back, we of course are selling firearms, Daisy air rifles.
Always the Daisy air rifles.
The Daisy
Defender. Or the Red Riders, yeah.
And so nice. this is it, and it's off-white and white pages, Interplanetary Express, and I believe I don't know. I think they're the Banditos on this, because they're all in black and she's wearing a mask. So
yeah, they look like bad guys.
They're the bad guys, and I like that even better too, because instead of it namby-pamby Black Terror, why you got, and they have the bubble helmet, and they have the wonderful 1950s bubble helmets, which a lot of guys, and almost without exception, in every one of these, in a space, they always have to have Saturn somewhere on the cover.
Yeah. Well, Saturn is the most impressive looking planet.
Yeah, Saturn and the moon. Those are the ones that generally, and later on they would put Jupiter with a bunch of spots all over it, or they'll show the Earth. But all the rest of them, forget it. They didn't really, go in that much for it. And she appears to have a thing of swag that she has taken. You'll see the treasure chest.
Yes, under her arm. Yeah.
She has a treasure chest, and there's a date stamp on it, which is, I can't
like
quite
50s, early 50s.
Well, it would probably be November. You see, I think it's October of 52, in the morning of October of 52. Yeah. Was when it was on the newsstands, and the stamp is put in just above her helmet, and it's so nice. And this is a pet peeve of mine, that these guys that were on the news, that did the newsstands where they would stamp the books,
I hear that.
They would stamp it on the worst possible place and deface the artwork of the books.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have to do it. They could actually put it on the back cover. But these guys, these knuckleheads that would do that, they had no respect for the buyer. They didn't respect their stock. And
I
then
don't
they
get why they
basically
even
defaced
date stamped it, to stamp the things in the first place. Why bother?
because they had to know how long they had it, so that then so that they could, at a glance, they could tell. And of course, later on in the 60s, they would color code the top of the book so you could tell by, if it was a green or red or yellow or whatever it was, you could tell just by the top of the book what month it was. The DC did that. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
Marvel did it too, but DC used to do that. You could look at the top because they would put a color on the top and on the interior. If you've seen it, I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah.
So there's that one. That's the first. Another one that I really like is these My Stories, these Fox Features Syndicate stories. My love, my problem, my romance, my life, my love, my God. Anyway, this one is My Story, and I've got a few of these. This is My Story number 5, and it's from Fox Features Syndicate, and it's from May of 1949. And it says that it's true romances in pictures. Jack Kamen, Al Feldstein, Al Dvorin, and Eddie Schwartz art. And so it's got a really, Kamen and Feldstein are both inside this book, which you can't go wrong. The only one missing is Baker, because I don't know, but by 49 he was still there if he'd gone to St. John by then. But in this instance, it's Kamen and Feldstein. And here it is.
That was the other auction that we were both looking at.
And she says, "So, I'm not good enough." Featured in this issue was I Too Young for Love. Exciting, intimate secrets. And he's cutting a butt. He's smoking a cigarette, and she's really giving the hammering.
She gave him a really, that's a big whack.
Blasted him across the face. And she had a ring on her finger, too. When I was a little boy, my mother, each night, she, like, mothers did, she came in and she would kiss us goodnight. And she'd always would grab my face to kiss me goodnight, and she'd kiss me. And my mother had a wedding ring that she never took off, her engagement ring, and it had a pronounced diamond on it. And sometimes mother, when she'd wash her hands, the diamond would kind of roll around and be on the inside. And so a lot of times what would happen is mom would scratch me when she would kiss me. Oh. And I remember one night she kissed me and she didn't scratch me. And this was when I was, I think, 5 or 6. And I started crying. And mother was going down the stairs and I kept crying. And she came back up. She said, "Stephen, why are you crying?" I said, "Mom, you didn't scratch me." True
you
story.
Like the abuse? You like the abuse?
Well, no, I mean, I was so used to that. That was what she would do. And mom had really, really small hands. My mother did. My mom was a very diminutive woman. I think size 2 shoes or whatever. She was a foot model and a hand model when she was in high school. And I remember one time that, when your parents, how they would discipline you. If my brother Doug and I were fighting or broke something or caused a problem, which was almost a daily thing, mother, when she would discipline hot. My father would discipline ice cold.
Yeah.
So I was talking, my mother was doing some ironing, and I think I was 7. And I lipped off at her. I was lipping off about something, and I was being real snarky about something. I was going, man, I was being real snarky. And I don't remember what I said, but mom wheeled around and she gave me one of these, what she did, right across the face. I don't remember what I said, but I said something, and mother never got hot really very often. She always really was the sweetest person. But whatever I said, I really pushed her buttons. And then she absolutely broke down crying because she had struck me. And then now I really feel bad. And so I'm holding her as she's crying because she struck me. it was, I'll never ever forget that. And
Uh,
I never lipped off at my mother again, as long
well,
as I
that's good. And
the
what?
rest of my life. No, I mean, when in my teenage years and all that other stuff, I never ever did. I feel terrible to this day for
Mhm.
that. I really do. But you know, you think about your mom, and because I lost her in she was only 75. I lost her in '03.
Oh wow.
So I lost her a long time ago, sadly. But you never forget. Anyway, but that's what I didn't mean to get maudlin on you guys. I'm sorry, but it just sometimes it bubbles
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
But there she is. All right.
It's a beautiful one.
Thank
And
you.
now
And
we're on the last big book, right?
no, we have two left. Here
Uh-oh.
is here is the fisherman thing. Catch more fish, and it's some kind of goop you put on your hook, and these guys get hundreds of fish, only $1.98 extra bonus. How do you do
Mhm.
it? How do you do it? And they said, "Wow, how do you do it?" He says, "You buy the goop." Okay.
I recommend.
And a seven for that book is an incredibly high grade, and it's off-white pages. It's not gray or purple or pink pages, which Fox would do. Alan, in his top 10 books this last Sunday, which was, according to my calendar, yesterday,
Yesterday.
one of the books in his top 10 was a 4.5 version of the book I'm about to show you. And it's called Camera Comics, and it's Camera Comics number 3.
This is a big book, actually.
And it's a big book. And this also again came from, and here it is, and it's a lovely copy.
Yours
I
is a 4.0? Yeah. So the
It's a
one I showed
4.0,
on my thing was a 4.5. Yeah.
4.5. And frankly, this cover is a nicer cover than that one, to be quite honest with you. I think my color strike is better. I think the actual layout is better. That is to say that the configuration, and this has off-white pages as well. But I've loved this cover since I saw it. Oh, thank you, JSS. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, comics are personal. For
Mm-hmm.
me, they are. I mean, they were one of my, of the closest friends you have. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one thing that you share in a book, that it's between you and the artist and the writer. And it's very, very personal because there's no one else infringing. It's you and them. And they speak to you, and you take it in, and you get involved, and you get emotionally involved with the characters, and you love the characters and stuff like that. It's a very, very personal thing. And that's why comics are so powerful. And they remind you of times past. They're like time machines to take you back to various things. Of course, I'm all about history, but personal history, as far as when you have these books, you can remember the music, you can remember the smells, you can remember the news and all that stuff, big events and things that happened. And that's comic books, because they're a part of your life. They are really one of the central themes in my life, is comic books all the way through from 1959 on up. It's comics have always been a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But here you have Camera Comics. Now on the inside of this is actual photography. In other words, they have stories and stuff where they have art, and this is of course during the war. This one is from December of 1944. Thanks, JX. This is from 1944, and which would have been about the time of the Battle of the Bulge. So we're getting late in the day. And one of the things, a lot of times on the backs of these covers, they have Daisy rifles, or they'll have whatever it is. They have the crazy things like, buy this Mixmaster, or lose weight, or whatever it is you're going to do. This, or they have Ever Ready. During the war, Ever Ready batteries was a very common one to have, was Ever Ready batteries. And they said, don't feel bad about the fact you can't get any batteries, because they're helping the war effort. But this is a completely different cover.
Did you show this book already? No.
No, I just got it.
I think it was me that showed it.
Yeah, it was Alan showed it on his Sunday show.
Yeah, I showed it on my Sunday show.
Sunday show?
Sunday show.
Oh, yeah, my Sunday show. But this one, if you look at the back cover, it's for Kodak film. How appropriate for Camera Comics.
Yeah,
it has
I
these
think Kodak sponsored them, you know, for obvious reasons, right?
yes, and I would
Because
love
inside there's like photos that they say it's Kodak. I believe it's
Co
Kodak.
well, again, I'm old enough that Kodak film and going to the developing shop, you know, and you
I
take your
know. I
pictures
used to
in and
love that.
to do that,
Yeah,
and then you would have to wait for 4 or 5 days to get them back and all that.
yeah, yeah.
But here you have an amazing cartoon back cover with a P38 shooting a zero down in all the colors and stuff. They went and they, of course they drew the Kodak box. Kodak film fights on every front. And then
So
they show an explosion with pictures being shot, and also the film for the gun cameras. You'll see that they're showing it's a projector showing basically they're showing the gun cameras where they show the accuracy of the pilot shooting stuff like locomotives and all that other stuff as they are making their strafing runs, and they would use this not only for intelligence, but they would use it to see how their accuracy is.
hmm
Isn't that
so
cool?
yeah, just quickly, Jim. I showed a 4.5. That was a
You have
sale.
this book, don't you?
I have that book. And mine's like a mine's like a 3.0 raw. It's a raw book. 3.0 or 2 something. It's like it's a lower grade.
So that's the camera. That was the biggest one from the auction by far. And you know, when I put my final bids in, I put them in near the end. Unfortunately, if you put a bid near the end, then they extend it, and it's like the Dutch auction or
Yeah, I
whatever.
hate that.
They
Yeah.
extend it, and Alan keeps saying, "Wait till the last minute. Wait till the last minute." So I wait till the last minute. Then they give it another 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever, and I said, "Well, that sure wasn't very good." But
Sure.
I understand. I would want that if it was my book being sold. I would want that too, so that if
One
there was,
sec. Keep that up.
yeah, keep it up, Gentner.
So mine's missing a corner though. But my colors are good. It's just
Yeah,
that the
your
corners.
colors are good. Yeah,
So mine's maybe a 2.5 or 2.
yours is
Yeah.
signed too. What do you have on yours? Who's right by her arm?
Susan.
Susan.
Susan's book.
So it's got to be a good book if it was Susan's book.
Yeah. Actually, maybe mine's like a 2.0. I'd say.
Linda Lenz, woman photographer. Matthew Brady, Civil War photographer.
That's the thing that's funny. Her name is Linda Lenz.
Linda Lenz.
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
Yeah, it's appropriate. It's very cute.
Now, the last book is the big book. And this book is one that Alan actually showed a copy of his copy of this book. I have been looking at this. Thanks, Jim. I have looked at this book. I had looked at this book before, and there's something about it that's very haunting. It draws you in. And here recently, there was the guy, the artist who did this cover. His name is Gus Ricca, and he's a very interesting artist. He died quite young. But he did a lot of artwork. He was a very good artist, and he worked for Chesler Company and Dynamic Comics and some other ones that they had. What's the other one besides Dynamic, Alan? That's with Chesler?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. But anyway, nevertheless, but Dynamic Comics and this one, I saw an advertisement with a gentleman named Lee Polanski, who is a seller and a very nice guy. He seems to turn these books up quite well. And I've known Lee for, I think, since he started doing this. But in any event, he had a listing, and then I called him up and I said, I'd really love to get that book. And this was not an inexpensive book. This is a very expensive book.
That's a very expensive book.
But this is it. It is Dynamic Comics, number 11.
Beautiful.
And the color strike on this, the green transitioning colors, and all of the colors in the test tubes, I mean, are very, very clear. And his face, It's a 3.0 with off-white pages, which is a very, very high grade for this book. There are 35 all told on the census, 30 of which are blue labels. And these books do not turn up because when
It's
people
really
have
rare.
them, they hold them. And Ricka's work has finally been his face things are a study. What's the one that has all those faces on it, Alan? What book is that? Dynamic 3 or 4?
Dynamic something, Dynamic 10 or something. I
His
don't know.
his facial studies are
Punch, I think, is the one you were trying to think of.
Punch. That's
Queens.
it. Punch. Yes. But his faces are a study of how much his hand positions here, and his face has
His faces always seem to glow.
Yeah,
like have that kind of like glow to them.
And you'll notice that he does this white outline around the character to make him pop off of the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really it is a Grail. It is a Grail cover, Grail book. And so I am very, very happy to have this.
I'll trade you the inside.
Oh, that's right. They mismatched.
I have the cover, not the inside. The inside is like a different book.
But Alan has a good color strike on his too. If you'll notice that it's a very nice color.
Again, I'm missing a little piece.
But you know, of the places to miss it, there's nothing going on there, and
there's nothing going on there.
There's nothing going on.
I got this so cheap. Actually, this cover is the main thing, right? So
can I just say this? You always do this. Why don't you just reverse the bag so that you don't have that big label over the cover?
Okay, wait. I'll make you happy. Wait.
I mean, you'll still have it. You know, you won't have to worry. You know, you still have the label.
Yeah, no, I like keeping the label, right? Actually, I like the fact. One sec here. I'm going to reverse it. I'm reversing it. Okay. Now you're making me work here, so just bear with me.
Well, someone has to.
Okay, there we go.
Now, that's far superior.
Mm-hmm.
That's much more dynamic.
Much more dynamic. So, yeah. Yeah, beautiful. I really like your, I mean, you did well. I mean, that's a great book. It's a really hard book to find.
And as I said, this is one I really had to step up. This is really one of the more expensive books I've purchased.
Yeah,
Seriously,
it's like several. It's in the thousands per point usually, people. So
yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I had the extra, and I had
mine actually, the way it works is this is a married book. It has, okay, let me read what it is. It's Dynamic Comics number 18. Okay, but this is not. Cover is not dynamic. Not Dynamic Comics number 18. What is the actual issue number? It's 11, I believe.
It's 11, yeah.
So yeah,
this is from September of 1944. They say that it's a classic cover. It's a Gus Ricka cover, George Tuska, Joe Beck, and Otto Eppers art. And this is
so basically what they did with mine is they married the cover with the wrong book inside.
The guts are wrong.
The guts are wrong. So
it's not good to have wrong guts.
Yeah. So it's number 18 inside, but it's the cover for number 11. So I bought this purely for the cover. Like this was a true cover buy where there was a 0.5 that sold, right? And it sold for like $1,000, the 0.5. Okay. I was like, okay, it's a cover buy anyways. I saw this on Heritage Auctions, and I think I paid $200 for it.
Wow, that's a deal.
So I figured now I just got to find a coverless copy and put the right insides in. So yeah.
Well, yeah. I hope you find it.
Yeah, I hope so. So yeah.
So this is our Monday special. Mm-hmm. I'd like to, I like to say thank you so much to everyone for coming. and sharing our time. We like to do the best we can on Mondays. On Friday, our Friday hangout, we like to have other people come in and join us. And what Alan and I have talked about is, rather than beat you to death with the golden age at all times and hours of the day, that
we'll show some more variety
for the younger guys and and other seasoned collectors, if silver or bronze or modern are more to your liking and where you have your affinity and your joy. Both Alan and I have collected all into all the different eras,
all ages,
and have affection and have joy in a lot of the newer stuff too. So we want to, if you're showing the newer stuff, we're going to show newer stuff too, because it's all good stuff. And depending on when you grew up and which books mean the most to you, which is very personal thing, I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and we want to share your enthusiasm as well, because we're loaded with it.
so on Friday, this Friday, we're going to be talking about Captain America.
Captain America, yes.
So it's going to be some pretty cool stuff. I'm going to show a few big books, just a couple, because I don't have that much Captain America in my collection, so I have to show a few big ones.
I do have Captain America, but I'm going to eschew the gold.
I'll show some other stuff too. I'll show some cool Captain America.
Okay. Yeah, Captain America is and a great, and of course the Captain America run from issue 100 from 1968 coming on up is wonderful, wonderful stuff. Truly wonderful. The class of 68 books, all of them, in fact, are wonderful things. And so even and then coming on up, I even have the Liefeld cover, which has the most ridiculous where the beefcake
awesome.
cover. It's awesome. I had to get it because it's
I got it for the bad cover.
Well, for the bad cover. I mean, it's so bad. It's classic,
I like that cover is so bad. Like, there's memes of it where they show like an X-ray, and it's like this guy's.
It's all that. What happened?
Oh man, so bad it's good. That's exactly it. So stay tuned for that on Friday. This week it should be a pretty cool week. I'm showing the romance books on Thursday. I'm showing the finale on Tuesday, and I answer your questions, everyone's questions, on Wednesday. Also, I'm doing a giveaway. I'm really close now. I'm like 13 or 15 people away from hitting 4,000. Once I hit 4,000, I'm going to let it stay at that for at least a week, and then I'll do the giveaway. So it's very soon.
Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Alan, please do, because he's going to give away something. And I'm glad I've lived long enough to see this. This is great.
Yeah, it's a rare occasion when that happens. So definitely check out my giveaway video. There's like a 4,000 subscriber giveaway video. Make sure you comment on it, and then you're entered in. As long as you're a subscriber, you're entered in.
Outstanding.
So that's it. Okay, so thanks again, Stephen, for coming, and that was a really great
Alan.
It was awesome.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
See you later.